The transfer window is seriously heating up and the Celts are in for a busy one with both incomings and outgoings. In today's video we will discuss why the club have entered negotiations with regards to a talent and with a fee being agreed. Not only that, but we will also discuss the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for daily Celtic content. Celtic today have announced yet another player signed a new deal, that being Maeda. Celtic said in a statement, hot on the heels of the news that Kyogo has signed a new deal with the club, his fellow countryman Maeda has also signed a new contract until June 2027. That speedy goal scorer and goal making winger with burning pace joined from Yokohama F. Marinos and took only 4 minutes to score his first Celtic goal in his first game against Hibernian in January 2022. To the match's speed on the wing, Maeda quickly became a fan's favourite with his ability to not only find the net himself but also assist his fellow Celts in front of goal as the silverware rolled in. On a personal level, that has meant winning 2 SPFL titles as well as the League Cup and Scottish Cup, and his sparkling form in the hoops also saw him called up to the Japanese squad for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where he scored against Croatia. The Scottish Cup final win at the end of the season was Maeda's 81st game for Celtic, delivering 19 goals in those games, and the player said, "It was a very happy moment for me and my family. Since we moved from Japan, everyone at the club and of course the supporters have been amazing, and we are enjoying our life in Scotland." Maeda continued, "Celtic is a very special club, so I'm very pleased to extend my stay here. When I signed, I said that my ultimate goal was to win the league, and we have done so, twice. Becoming a treble winner last season has been one of the highlights of my career, but we must now prepare for our next season. Our aim will remain the same, to work hard together with the manager to bring success to the club and our supporters. We have 3 trophies to defend, and we also have Champions League football, so I'm excited to get started." Just a quick one, boys and girls, to tell you that we have a new drop available on our website. We have the Brendan Rodgers Pope tee along with the Celtic Ultra t-shirts. Do browse the collection by going down to the link in the description or going to celtapparel.com. Anyway, let's get back into today's video. In the wake of a big shift at Celtic, goalkeeper Joe Hart was the first player to face the media in pre-season and the first to comment on the departure of Ange Postecoglou and the return of Brendan Rodgers. The conference, courtesy of Celtic TV, provided an insightful look into the player's perspective on the recent managerial change. Hart, who's a key figure in the Celtic squad, was asked about his feelings on Postecoglou's departure. He said, "Look, we shared 2 really special years together. They were obviously very successful. People are interested in what you're going to be doing next and what your ideas are, and look, Ange had a decision to make and he made it." The bond between the players and their former manager was evident in Hart's words. He continued, "We absolutely loved working under him and I really enjoyed my time personally. I really get on with him as a person and I wish him all the best." However, Hart also acknowledged the transitional nature of football. He continued, "Football's kind of got this magical way of keeping things moving. Next we get the news that Brendan Rodgers is coming in and we've got a new focus and a new task." When asked if Postecoglou's move to Tottenham Hotspur was a testament to the work done at Celtic, Hart was full of praise. "Yeah, look, it speaks volumes. We had, like I said, 2 excellent years of exciting football, front foot football, and we managed to win 5 out of the 6 domestic trophies. We did our best in Europe." Hart also hinted at the team's ambitions under the new manager. He continued, "That was definitely something we felt like we could improve on, and we can look to do that under Brendan Rodgers now." The Celtic squad, whilst acknowledging the impact of Postecoglou, seems ready to embrace the new era under Rodgers. As the pre-season progresses, the focus will undoubtedly shift towards a new task at hand, continuing Celtic's domestic dominance and making strides in Europe. There has only been one departure at Celtic this summer, which was the Portuguese winger Jota. Another name is set to be added to that list in Conor Hazard, as the club have entered negotiations and a fee has been agreed. The hero in the delayed Scottish Cup final of 2020, which sealed a historic quadruple treble for Celtic, Hazard never really got going at Celtic in spite of his acts that day. After a successful loan spell at HJK in Finland in 2022, Hazard is set to move south. According to the Daily Record, Plymouth Argyle, who are recently promoted to the English Championship, have agreed to a 6-figure fee with Celtic that includes the potential for future add-ons. Hazard is said to be keen on the move and eager to start getting first-team football. He never seemed to make the cut in the Celtic first team on a consistent basis, but he will be remembered for playing his part in the Hoops' history for his Hampden heroics. While some members of the Celtic squad have returned to Lennox Town for pre-season, a few are still on holiday. One such player is Hatate, who, like most of his Japanese teammates in Glasgow, chose to visit his homeland this summer. During his time in Japan, Hatate followed in Kyogo's footsteps by training with his former club, before joining the Hoops. A midfielder played for J-League side Kawasaki Frontale for several years, accumulating a total of 77 appearances for the club. Recently, the 25-year-old was photographed training with his old team. It seems to be a tradition among Celtic's Japanese players at the moment. So far, 3 men have trained with their former teams while back home, including Kyogo, Kobayashi and Hatate. This simple gesture highlights the strong connection between the clubs and the players' hearts, demonstrating an enduring bond. Now, if only we can get Rao to follow in Kyogo's footsteps and sign a new long-term deal. The summer transfer window is well underway, and that seems to be no different at Celtic. So far, the Hoops have acquired the services of 2 new players, in Odin Thiago Holm and Marco Tilio. A third could potentially be on the way in South Korean winger Hoyeon Jeong-yang, and as well as this, the club are said to be interested in young Watford centre-forward Jack Greaves. The 18-year-old is one of the top talents at Vicarage Road, and although Watford offered him a new deal, he seems to be hesitant about signing it. Numerous clubs are interested in him, but Brentford and the boys are leading the race. If the player did make the move north, he would likely join Celtic's B team in the Lowland League. Nevertheless, if he impressed enough there, he could eventually receive a first-team call, like he has done already at Watford. The Asian Cup is likely to provide Celtic with a bit of an obstacle to overcome this season. The rescheduled tournament will take place in Qatar from January the 12th to February the 10th, with at least 3 Celtic matches affected. Our interest in the Asian market means that we could be without a whole host of players while the competition is going on. Japan could call up Kyogo, Maeda and Hatate, while Iwata and Kobayashi are also eligible. South Korea are likely to need Hoyango Oi, while countryman Hoyeon Jeong-yang seems likely to join us soon. There's a fair chance that new signing Marco Tilio will be picked by Australia too. So we could be without 5 or 6 players at that stage of the season. The fact that they are almost all attackers isn't lost on us either. We will be entitled to ask for games to be postponed, but may also choose to get on with things. It's hard to envisage Celtic without Kyogo, O or Maeda, even just for a few games. It seems pretty likely that another striker will have to be signed. Ideally, they wouldn't be eligible for an Asian country. Brendan Rodgers did use just 2 strikers in the Amazing Invincible season. Moussa Dembele and Lee Griffiths netted 50 goals between them that campaign. When they were joined by Edouard the following season, their game time was better managed, but their form was arguably not as strong. It will be interesting to see how Rodgers approaches the acquisition of a new striker. With Kyogo and Oi ahead of them, they may be hard pressed to find much game time. But potential injuries and the Asian Cup seem to make signing a third striker a necessity. Celtic fans, what do you make of Conor Hazard's time at the club? And should we be confident in the Asian Cup when it comes to signing players this summer? Yes or no? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Remember, we have released our brand new Celtic t-shirts. We have the Brendan Rodgers Pope t-shirt and the Celtic Ultra t-shirts too. You can find them at celtapparel.com or just go down to the link in the description. Thank you, take care, bye bye.